What song are you singing?
The Star Trek theme song.
That is not what I remember the Star Trek theme song sounding like at all.
Yeah, I know. It's because I'm a bad singer. All right. You ready?
Kinda.
Sure.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode number 36 of the Model Citizen Show. I am your host, Logan Moore, and it has been quite some time since we have last spoken to you on this program. As always, I am joined by none other than Michael Ruiz.
What?
What?
No, I don't reply.
We're gonna get copyright strike.
Fuck it, we're doing it.
Yeah, Max, I was singing the part after all the talking, though.
I
was
just
singing the Star
I
Trek
just
song.
looked up the first YouTube video.
Skip it forward like 15 seconds.
There you go. Do you think there'll be model citizens in that future timeline?
Michael Ruiz is here.
Hi.
Max Roberts
Hi.
is here.
It's podcasting, the final frontier.
Yeah, to an extent. And Mario Rivera is here as well.
I think I am. My audio sounds like dick, sorry.
Yeah, you're kind of here. You're here in spirit more than you are actual audio.
I'm a ghost. I died.
You're like the ghost in Paper Mario on the train who haunts his cabin.
I want to be the ghost of Celeste.
Let's get right into it this week. Let's not goof off too much because I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of things we'll talk about. I think we have some topics for the week that we will spend some time talking about. This is over. The end. We're done. And by that,
Goodbye.
I mean this podcast and this brand are potentially over. Or at least some of our involvements in it are coming to an end.
It's an indefinite hiatus.
Yeah, you know how we had that hiatus before this episode? Well, now we're going to take a longer hiatus.
One that's indefinite.
Yeah, so if you've been consuming our stuff for the past year since we've launched, it's almost been a year since we started this whole thing up. We've kind of been away for the past few weeks with all of our shows. I think some of us, Max and myself, have especially just been exhausted lately, I think, with just this whole podcasting process. If any of you, if you're not familiar with this whole ordeal, and this is your first episode, well, sorry.
Yeah, this was your first episode.
If this is your first
I
episode,
apologize.
check out Search Model Citizens Media on YouTube. Check out all the
I was
archive
gonna-
videos.
search on YouTube. There you go, because
It lives on there.
The site will probably go down at some point.
Yeah, hopefully I don't forget about that.
I told
Oh,
you
no,
to
I was-
cancel that. Shut off
Cancel
auto
that
renew.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
cancel that before.
That was my first idea, by the way, when you asked me to come up with ideas. It was to just cancel that. We don't need it.
Yeah, can't turn that off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Let it die.
When did we launch this? Was it March of last year? I think.
It was the March 28th after my birthday.
There we go. That was very specific.
You remember?
Yeah, that was my birthday.
Oh, Robot Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember my birthday?
Boop, bop, boop.
Boopy, boop, bop,
Boop,
boopy.
boop, bop, boop.
You sound-
Thanks.
I think it's your internet more than it's your mic setup, Mario.
Yeah.
If the past couple episodes with
Nice.
Mario have been because of his mic setup.
Oh.
So we launched in March of last year, and we started this whole podcasting venture with this show, and we have Millennial Gaming Speak, which Max and I will have news. We'll talk about all of our shows on this episode as well, not just this one. But yeah, everything I think is going to be coming to an end, at least for now. The four of us have actually not all talked about this as a group yet, surprisingly.
Yeah,
We've talked about it fractured, and or me and Michael talked about it with Max the other day, and then we talked about it with
Fractured
Mario
butthole.
after. Yeah, fractured butthole. Hit.
It's been a fractured butthole of a good time.
We haven't all talked about this yet, so this is kind of the first time we've been able to get together in a while, actually. And it's for this, so that's fun. But yeah, this is coming to an end, I think, and I think it is partially just because Speaking for myself, I guess you guys can give your own reasons. And Mario, I know you're not as privy to stop this as we are, so your reasons aren't really. You don't have a reason to end this. I think like the other. I'm just tired. I'm very creatively exhausted, and I need a break. And I'm trying to cut some things out. And this is a sizable portion of that time that I spend creating things. That's it for me. Max, you're just kind of done, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm done with podcasts kind of as a whole right now. I'm just, yeah, I'm kind of done with it.
Is it getting in the way? Is it getting in the way of your sex life, Max? Is that what it is?
I mean, we probably a contributing factor. We went all the way to your wedding, so it's probably.
That's not wrong.
Hey, yeah. You could be doing it right now. I saw her in that towel and wet hair and stuff. All right.
She didn't just have a towel on. She had her.
Yeah, I know.
pajamas on.
I know she had the thing. Obviously, I didn't think she was gonna come into camera naked.
No, I'm saying she had more than just a towel. That's besides the point.
Tell me more about your wife. What she wears.
Clothing, Mario. She wears clothes. Layers. About 17 different layers of clothing.
I thought she just wears like big giant steaks on her. She was just like steaks on her.
Actually, Max, before you to tell us how much you hate podcasting, I had a weird conversation with my girlfriend about your wife, where I showed her the photo of you and your dog. You got a new dog, and she's like, "Oh my God, is that who I think it is?" And I'm like, "You know her?" And it's like, "Yeah." And she like scrolls Facebook for like forever to other people's friends list. Is like, "Isn't this her?" And I'm like, "No, I have her face. I have the photo right here. I could have showed you." It's like, "No, it's not her."
She went deep down the rabbit trail.
What the fuck? So that was weird.
It's a white girl with brown hair.
Well, now we know your girlfriend is a stalker, Mario. So that's good.
Yeah, that's right.
You learn that about her. So that's always fun.
To break it down a little bit more, millennial gaming speak, and Logan and I kind of share this opinion about it. It's just kind of fallen into a rut. We've been doing that for what? This will be the 3rd year.
Just 3 years. Yeah, I think 3 years this month actually.
Yeah, so we've been doing that show for 3 years. And it's just kind of fallen into a rut. And I still talk to Logan about video games on the daily, so that's not the part that's boring. It's just the format and show itself. This show has just been so difficult to schedule. Such a big part of it.
You have had a terrible schedule.
I've had a terrible schedule the past few months. I mean, definitely contributed my fair share of awful schedule. And now I'm done with that awful schedule, but it's just kind of tiring. Reeling in the Years, I loved being a part of that show.
Yeah,
it's great. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
It was clearly
Max was an integral part in Reeling.
The thing with Reeling in the Years is just not enough celebrity musicians died to motivate you guys to create more episodes.
Kind of. Well, that only happened like one time.
Like
that was
one.
That was
twice.
that was like I think that happened once.
I think didn't you do it with Prince and Linkin
no,
Park?
it was Chris Cornell.
No, it was
But it was
Chris
at the
Cornell
same-
and
well, we
Linkin
did-
Park.
Linkin
Yeah,
Park.
but we did that in the same episode.
Was it the same episode?
I'm pretty
It was
sure
the
we
same.
did.
You did it in the same episode.
I don't think we
because they
did.
were they're besties.
Here, hold on. Let me go back to the large catalog of episodes and tell you what you guys did.
You can figure it out
Hey,
in
man.
5 seconds.
Still highest views that we have on a YouTube video.
I thought the
Yeah.
Szechuan thing was high. Oh, whatever.
It's at like
There
800
you go.
something.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
We'll
You're
talk
right.
about Reeling in the Years in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about
and why that one didn't work out like we had envisioned. I mean,
Mhm.
I think the episodes we did were fine. It was more just like, I don't know. We'll talk about it here. In a
We'll
second.
talk about it. Yeah.
Continue.
Anyway, and then Behind the Pixel is just
What's that?
more.
That's another reason why this all failed. We kept saying the wrong name of the show.
My biggest regret is that we never made a T-shirt that said beneath it.
That is also my biggest regret.
I'm
we also
still
didn't
making that T-shirt.
We also didn't have a T-shirt with the cover of Mario's book on there.
That was the last episode we recorded before this one.
Yeah,
It was so good.
we should do an audiobook of that. All of us like read a chapter or something.
Oh yeah, we
That
should continue
shows-
podcasting. You fuck.
Hey, there's a lot of things we'll never get to do.
Like
They-
finishing that one thing that Logan wrote.
Just yeah,
Reverb.
behind the Pixel
Thank God. Though.
More rejection than acceptance, and it's just kind of defeating. And I feel like I don't think my career is moving down the path of full-time games journalism. So, just kind of let that have been a thing that I did for 7 episodes. That was really, really cool to do. And they'll live on YouTube, and I'll probably throw like a Google Drive up with all the audio files for you guys. Just to download those.
I have to say, dude, that was like one of the shocking surprises or successes of everything that we've done. Of what you did accomplish with it is still one of my favorite things.
I think it was an anomaly that you got those guests in the first place. If I'm being totally honest,
hey, I never expected I would talk to co-founder of IGN for an episode or. Gosh, Kirk Hamilton was still kind of the biggest.
Kirk Hamilton and
Yacht Club.
Yacht Club was shocking too.
Yeah, it's just that was really fun to do that whole show, and I'm glad.
And here's the thing I'll say about that: I definitely think you could continue that easily. I think when you say it's more on the fact that you get to turn down a lot, like that's part of it for sure. I'm sure that demoralizes you. You could keep going with that. I think. Like me, I think you're just kind of exhausted of the process.
Yeah, and the thing, Behind the Pixel could come back. Any of this technically could come back, but Behind the Pixel could. And
I'll take you to court, Max.
It's all sitting on a drive on my external drive, so I mean it's safe and sound. It's not going anywhere technically. I need to actually archive the web pages. Whoops.
Fair enough. Do I have to contact my lawyer to you guys to figure out what is owed to me?
If anything, I technically own the website, so it doesn't matter.
I was going to say, we could trace it all back to a PayPal transaction to, clear up our 25% each, but none of us made money off of this, so I don't think there's anything legal to go over. Yeah, you hiding money on the side there, Logan. Yeah, cut me out of a deal.
That's why I'm so upset that we're ending this.
Brought in so much cash. I also would like to just say quickly, we'll never get to talk about my wrestling debut.
What do you mean? We can talk about it right now.
This is the episode. This is the ending. This is the culmination of everything.
We'll never get to finish Reverb.
Mike and Logan convinced me to watch wrestling, and then to convince you to watch wrestling.
That's the legacy of this show.
The difference is, Mario, is you stuck around and you still watch it, and I most likely will never watch wrestling again.
What do you mean, WrestleMania? Ronda Rousey is going to sign her contract at Elimination.
At the Elimination Chamber, you got to watch the Elimination Chamber. There's 7 people.
There's the first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber, and the historic first ever women's elimination.
It's true.
Call me up when men and women wrestle in the same.
Then you go watch Lucha Underground.
Yeah, it's called Mixed Match Challenge on Facebook.
Match Challenge. Yeah.
No, seriously though, Lucha Underground straight up has like men go against like men and women fight each other. Like it's not like how WWE like they tag in the woman when the woman's. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, Max.
So yeah, watch Lucha Underground. Lucha Underground is on Netflix, I think.
Okay, quick aside before we do get back into everything. Serious question, because I don't even know if we've asked you. Did you actually enjoy that?
Yeah. It was, Abby and I watched it together. And yeah, we had fun. We watched the Royal Rumble. I enjoyed the Women's Rumble more than the men's. The Women's Rumble was way better. It's just as far as entertainment goes.
It's kind of stunk.
But overall, favorite thing of the night, besides turning it all off before Ronda Rousey came out, was that Brock Lesnar like 3? I don't even know the other 2 guys, but it was that 3-way fight.
Braun Strowman and Kane.
Yeah, so the belt was on the line. So like if anyone pins anyone, I guess they get the belt, even though they did whatever. That is what I've always pictured wrestling to be like. They were like smashing each other into the tables. They pulled a chair out.
Then
you see the actual physical real punch?
Ladders and chairs pay-per-view, usually around December, November time.
There you go.
That's watch the NXT Extreme Rules match between Adam
Cole and Aleister Black.
Aleister Black, because that was really good, and I watched
that. That was
good. Biggest surprise of the night was what's her name, Renino Menunez coming out and just announcing
Rania
stuff.
Menounos.
Rania Menounos. I don't know. I thought I was at
all the time though. Like she does a lot of.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought her entire career was the movie thing.
She hosts what is it, Extra or ET or whatever?
E channel. Did you miss her in Fantastic Four? Her titular role as the girl that hangs out with the Human Torch once?
Oh.
She's in that movie.
Which Fantastic Four?
The old one.
I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Probably
the Captain America one.
Yeah, the one with Chris Evans.
Yes.
So when she showed up, I have my best friend Kevin and I. Every time we go to the movie and we see her, we snap a picture of her and then just roast the movie experience. So when I found her, that was my favorite part of the night. Like, biggest surprise.
Was David Otunga there?
Wow.
He was in the pre-show.
Sad biggest surprise of the night.
David, do you know who Jennifer Hudson is?
The name's familiar.
She's that singer from American Idol.
Okay.
Ask your wife. Wife, come back here.
Hey, Michael asked you to come back here. What's her name?
Jennifer Hudson.
Who's Jennifer Hudson?
Oh, she's
American Idol's what they said. She was a singer.
She didn't win it, though.
Her family got brutally murdered in Chicago. It's a thing.
Was she on one of the first seasons?
Yeah,
maybe first 3 or 4.
Close.
Yeah,
first 4. Yeah, first 5.
So, okay.
I brought him up.
So David Otunga.
Anyway.
All right, this goes back. David Otunga was married to her, but they just had a divorce not that long ago.
That's sad.
Oh boy.
I don't know. I wonder if he was his own lawyer in the divorce. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, he is.
That's a thing. Anyway, Max's biggest takeaway from Royal Rumble, Maria Menounos.
And generally, you had a pretty good time. So
I did. I had fun with it. It was a little too over top, too cheesy.
It's a little long.
That's the point.
I will say,
yeah, like that's the beast of it. I did think your guy got robbed, but also I thought the men's rumble was just
Braun or who?
The one Logan cheers for all the time. Yeah,
it was Balor or Braun.
The men's rumble I felt like was just everyone hiding in the corner, and as another guy came out, they just fought the last guy that came out.
Finn got robbed during the rumble.
Oh, Finn, whatever.
Sure.
Is that the guy that was in there from the beginning?
Balor.
Yeah,
Balor. Sweet. Yes.
Yeah, he just got thrown over like a wuss. That was lame.
I'm happy he won though. So
have you watched the botched version of the Royal Rumble? Where you can hear like John Cena scream, "Shinsuke now!"
Yeah,
Shinsuke now!
I hate John Cena. My biggest takeaway from
I
that
just
pay-per-view,
kept thinking of Ferdinand the Bull.
It's just the biggest takeaway from that pay-per-view was that I still really loathe the John Cena and think he's a terrible wrestler. He is so bad, dude.
The thing is that like I don't think he's terrible. I think that was like he just did.
He just doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
So they were deferring the call to him in that match, and he was just openly calling it, like not even trying to hide it. Like
it was terrible. Like that was so bad.
Max, I know you're not familiar with this, but when two guys are in the ring, there's always one person who's calling the match, and the other person is deferring to what they're doing, and that's how they know what the other's going to do. Blah 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 blah. But they always hide it well, and you usually can't see what's going on.
Scripting, like how it's
like when they're kind of. I mean, when you're in the ring, like they don't know every single move they're gonna do over the course of a match. So they'll
really? I thought it was entirely like seriously. I thought it was all laid
when they lock up, they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do an Irish whip into the rope with you. You go under what? I don't know. They have code crap for all this. They can talk real quick and they know what they're gonna do for the next.
I feel like you can.
Moves or
I think like when they tap somebody, I think that's also a thing, and that's why they.
It's a certain language. It's a language essentially.
They know the ending. The ending is usually the only thing that's scripted, and you can usually see the ref, and he'll tell them to like go home, and that means like, all right, guys, match is over. Do the final thing, and we're out.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear a ref say going over, and that's also like that's the end.
Usually the opening and the closing are kind of scripted. Everything in between is totally made up in the ring. So it is like an art.
So when that guy kept getting punched on his way to the ring, that was made up.
That was scripted. That's Royal Rumble's different. Royal Rumble stuff's 10 times more scripted.
Yeah, because there's moments like, okay, do you remember Kofi Kingston, the guy who landed on the pancakes?
Yeah.
He's been doing that for 4 years straight.
Oh, longer than that, I think.
Some way. Yeah. I think 4 or 5 years straight where he gets like thrown over, but he gets caught in the air and then thrown back in the ring.
One year he jumped. He was on the outside of the ring and he jumped all the way from the ring to the wall where the audience is at, and he hung on to that and he got back up and he started high wiring across the wall, and then he jumped back on the ring from the wall.
Yeah,
that happened in the Women's Rumble.
Yeah, she basically is the Kofi Kingston of that Rumble. She did the same thing that he did like 2 years ago.
Yeah, with the chair. Yeah.
Yeah, she like combined both of them, where she was on the railing and the chair.
Yeah, and the chair. Yeah,
that was a little bit.
Was that Naomi who did that?
Or yeah, that was Abby's favorite.
It was.
Naomi's.
Yeah,
and now I have respect for your wife. So.
Anyway. But yeah, so you call a match, and John Cena was openly calling a match and not even trying to hide it. It's like, what
terrible.
He doesn't. The thing I don't understand about Cena is how he has such a lack of respect for what he's doing. Over half the time he's in the ring, he comes off as so sarcastic and disingenuous, and like it doesn't.
It's weird, dude.
Obviously, everything is so fake with wrestling. Like, we get that, but the more you sell it, the better the product as a whole is going to look. And he openly just kind of craps on wrestling a lot of times. It's like,
which is annoying. Doing this? Do you remember the Raw after Royal Rumble where he had the fight with Finn Balor? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
And they had that whole angle where it's like, I'm just trying to go to WrestleMania. Like, he's talking to the crowd, being like very un-John Cena. And at first I'm like, oh, this is going to be an angle. This is going to be something that they're going to continue. Nope. Hasn't continued since.
No.
So fucking weird.
Yeah, he's terrible, dude. He's awful. I don't like John Cena.
I love Ferdinand the Bull.
I don't like John Cena for a variety of reasons. Anyway,
it's over.
That was our wrestling.
That was the last wrestling talk of Model Citizens.
I'm glad you were a part of it.
That secret project that we're talking about, I still want to happen, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, the wrestling podcast.
Oh,
if you really think about it, Mario. This entire podcast has been a wrestling podcast.
I watched or I listened to a Giant Beastcast, and Dan is right, where wrestling can literally be anything. So you could always connect it to wrestling.
Yep.
There you go.
And I agree.
Yep.
You can talk about anything. There's a way.
Yep.
I'm sure.
It's easy to do it, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's all
that leaves Michael and Mario to talk about their feelings.
Who wants to go first? You want me to go first, Mario?
Go ahead.
I mean, it's not really that much different. I mean, less of a creative and more of just a general thing. I'm exhausted with life. So, and that sounds bad.
No, that's my thing.
But like, I was doing like full-time work at Starbucks, which I don't think I've ever said that I worked at Starbucks. But I was doing.
May not want to now.
No.
Yeah, I may not want to. Yeah, whatever. What the fuck are they gonna do? I was doing full-time, like working 35 to 40 hours there, and then I was doing work with Dual Shockers, and then I was also doing this and also doing full-time school all in one time, and I was getting really tired. So
by the way, you're getting married,
and I'm getting married, and I was planning a wedding, and I was just getting this apartment. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I have been actively like cutting a lot of stuff lately. This is probably the last one, I suppose, but I am no longer a shift supervisor at Starbucks because I don't want to do it. And luckily the raise went up there. So now I'm making maybe like 20 cents less than what I was before. So it's really not big of a deal. And I demoted myself. And then
you can do that. You can demote yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can.
So as shift supervisor, I demote myself.
Yes, I can absolutely do that. But I had demoted myself like in May, like before I got.
I remember we were having this conversation.
Yeah, I had demoted myself like in right before I went to San Francisco, and like I could not go. Like I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have. I don't know. They never demoted me until I just transferred just now. So I mean, I was getting paid and everything, but I was also like, I just hated my job at that point. And then school hasn't really changed much. I just do 2 classes instead of 3 now, which still is it's weird how my classes work are weird. So they're like accelerated. So I only have to take 3 classes for it to be full time, but they only last 7 weeks, and then they're done.
Probably better that way, honestly.
I like it. I don't mind it at all. But it's also just a lot of things pile up really quick. So I have to I would have to write papers in like a week that are like, you have to write like a 15-page paper in a week, and you only have, this set amount of time, which is fine. No, it's fine. And then Dual Shockers lately, I cut my stuff down a little bit there too. So, I mean, I've been cutting stuff recently, and this is probably the last thing that I'll have to. But yeah, I've just been like real exhausted with stuff. Like I feel like I don't get to enjoy the things that I thought I did before. Like video games are like kind of not enjoyable anymore. Like
yeah, dude.
Like there's just things that I just can't. Like I want to enjoy them, and then when I go and do it, I'm like, this is just not what I want.
I played video games all weekend, and when I say all weekend, I mean it was like the main thing I did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I felt like total garbage going to bed on Sunday. I was like, I did nothing for the last 3 days. And normally some people are like, oh wow, I played video games all week, so awesome. And sometimes I feel like that, but like lately, the more time I pour into them, the less like satisfying it is, and the more like depressed.
Yeah,
I feel about myself.
When I start talking, I'll definitely bring a lot of that up, actually.
But it just becomes like, it's just the mindset I think now that we have, because we've been doing what we're doing, and we always are like constantly critiquing something.
Yeah.
So it's like even if a video game is not part of a job, it becomes a part of like, it's just you're used to it, and it just gets tiring to play even something as simple as like, I'm whatever. Any, like when I did even WWE or something like that, something that I like totally wanted to play, or something like that. So I don't know. Everything's just been kind of tiring.
I mean, to jump in before Mario says his piece too, but yeah, that's a lot of it for me as well. Like I didn't touch on it too much with myself, and I feel exhausted by a lot of stuff, but I've been making a conscious effort since 2018 began to just start cutting things out of my life. And I don't mean that in like a negative sense, like, oh, I'm done with people or something like that. But I'm trying to like weed things back and like make my life a little bit simpler.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like this whole thing we've created, I don't think is like some overwhelming stress on my life, but it is a thing regardless for me that we have to do every week, or at least we've tried to do every week.
Yeah.
And just not having it there, I think will be really refreshing for me for a bit. But yeah, I've definitely consumed too much. In my output of podcasts was way too high last year. The podcast I was creating and stuff like that. It's just it's all gotten to be a little bit too much for me. And I just need a break.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I used to consume a lot more podcasts and stuff. I don't anymore. Because like I find like no enjoyment at all in it. Like,
I haven't listened to Bombcast in like 5 weeks.
I listened to half of the Beastcast today from last week.
I'm just burnt with like coverage of things as like a whole right now, and like games media and like
I just don't.
And just games as a whole. I don't know. Like I don't know.
It's weird. Like I remember. I mean, that was like one of the first things I think we talked about, or something like that, where I was saying that like, oh, I wanted to take like a break from video games. Like that was something I think we talked about early on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't playing video games for like a few weeks. And then when I came back, like I was like, oh, why did I do this? I mean, am I having a great time? And now I'm like back at the point where I'm like, man, I should just take a break. I should just take a break from this and do other things. I don't know what, but
yeah. Outside of things I'm going to review for the next couple weeks,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to take some time off for sure.
yeah,
As much as I can.
So yeah, I mean that's just my thing. It's not anything dissimilar from Max or Logan, but it's just more of like I've been trying to cut things out, and like it's just been super hard to like get any like do like to have the focus to do anything. I mean, Amber talks to me. I literally cannot. And it's not just Amber. She's just the one who I interact with the most, so I use her as an example. Like I just don't like I don't listen. Like I'm like blank anytime somebody talks to me about something, and like and then I have to have people repeat it. Like it's super weird. Like I've never been like that before, and now I'm this like total blank stare, and I'm like, wait, what did you say? I have no idea. I was just like, it's just because I'm like thinking about so many things at one time, and yeah. So I mean that's really it for me.
Come on, Mario, lay it on us.
I will say maybe at the start of all of this, I was at the opposite spectrum of where I wanted to take something on, and I certainly wanted to take on this opportunity to get to know you guys more and to do this podcast. You know, I dabbled with trying to start podcasts with friends or down the line, and they've always been just sort of like not to the quality that I'm actually proud of. But when we started doing this and then it was consistent for many weeks, I was actually really excited, very proud of it. And it was something that I was taking on because I felt like I didn't have something that was going on that I was interested in, that I was very proud of. Just working day to day, so like I said, I mean, the big journey of my whole thing is that I'm still at home, just trying to figure out who I am.
Oh no.
I would say that, like you guys, I'm feeling that now where I've taken on so much stuff. Like I have on my podcast list 28 different podcasts just regularly that I subscribe to and that I listen to on a daily basis. Like I have to zap out any silent noise with content to the point where it's I'm depressed if I don't, and it's depressing that I do.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword. It's depressing if I don't have something to listen to because it makes my mind escape, and therefore I don't think about, oh yeah, you're still. There's nothing happening.
Oh darn, you're at your job for another 8 hours today. That's
exactly. Exactly. And it's like, okay, I'm just filling the hours instead of providing with something maybe useful. But I mean, like, this was my thing. This was an outlet for me. Now, this was me to talk, hang out, and sometimes get some fun points across. And then when I was asked to be on, MGS, that was absolutely so much fun. And it was cool, So I will say, like, I'm not going to lie, but I would say that this wasn't something that I would want to do to end it all, but I understand all of your reasons. And I see that in myself too, where I need to find now the aspect to better myself, because I'm also even though I'm not in the same vein as like any three of you guys, because all three of you guys are connected in ways that I haven't reached yet, like being at DualShockers or freelancing for IGN. But I still listen to all the stuff that, that we all involved with IGN, Kind of Funny. You guys got me really into Giant Bomb this year, so I've been listening to them steadily. But because I'm listening to those constantly, I'm always up to date on games. So like I feel like I have to play it, so therefore I'm spending money always playing a new game every month. When 2 years ago, I played maybe like 3 new games a year.
Yeah, I used to pass on way more stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. But like
guys, passing on stuff is so awesome.
That's why, because like I bought Celeste. I had no interest in Celeste, and all of a sudden Celeste is in my life. It's a great game.
Using that sexy IGN guide, find all the strawberries.
Yeah, no, because I hate the guy who does the reviews and the map stuff. He sucks. They should fire him. Never hire him. You said
reviews,
again.
and I thought you.
I fucked up.
I was like, oh, so you actually have an issue with the guy who reviewed the game? All right, that's fine.
No, I'm kidding.
The little jerk gave it a 10. It's not a 10.
That's right.
I mean,
oh man,
people do that.
Thank you for helping me getting the strawberries.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
There you go. So I mean,
here's the thing. Well, here's the thing, because even before when Michael and Max and I talked about this the other day, it seemed like we were all on the same page. And I was like, Mario's not going to be. I was like, I know Mario's not going to be. I was like, I know Mario is going to be the person who wants to end this the least.
Yeah.
And so I feel bad in that respect. And here's the other thing I want to say is that, Max, you are out. You're done. Michael and Mario,
I'm quitting.
Michael, Mario, and I have entertained the idea of maybe doing something else later with this, but that'll be discussions for a later date. That is why we're ending this indefinitely or whatever. And the other thing I guess I would say to Mario as well, or to myself too, or whatever, to all of us, is that, like, I have no doubt that we will all do something again at some point down the road, unless one of us tragically dies tomorrow. Like, I am looking at us ending this as the end of this brand thing we've created and everything that falls underneath it. I still want to make stuff. I still want to do stuff. I will still talk to all of you regularly. I will still write with Michael at DualShockers, like things like that. Like, I will still do things with all of you, and I have no doubt we will record more podcasts one day or make videos or do whatever the heck. Like, we will all absolutely, I feel like, work on something creatively again at some point in time in the future. To me, it is just the end of this. And I think part of the reason why I think it is important to end this is because this really never went anywhere for us. This never turned out like we wanted it to. We never dedicated the time I think it was going to take for us to do what we wanted to do with this. And that, one, and two, I don't think we had a clear vision for what we wanted it to be in the first place. We just kind of like, oh, we're going to start.
It was like we announced, and then we went crazy with it. We had a website. We had 4 shows to start off with.
4 shows with, between the 4 of us. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to discredit you said that it didn't go anywhere. There are people that listen to us. Oddly enough, there for the people that are out there, Brian.
When I say it didn't go anywhere, I know some people listen to this show and a couple of our other shows. I mainly meant, like, we have talked behind the scenes for over a year about other ideas for things that we wanted to eventually do under this. Mainly more video content and stuff like that. And none of that ever happened outside of a very strange hot dog video Mario made.
And the Szechuan sauce.
And that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, like, I think it became a point of, like, video editing becomes a part where it's like, that's some time. And the time that, like, for me personally, like, I did the video editing stuff before, like, when I used to do something, like, before this project and before I was writing for, even when we were at PlayStation Insider, Logan, like, I was doing video, like, really easy video stuff. I was using, like, Elements or whatever it is, the Adobe whatever.
Adobe Elements.
Yeah, which is like the simplified, like, baby version of that program. And I was using that, and I was doing it. And that, even that, it takes, like, freaking forever to do something. And that's a lot of time. Like, forever's a lot of time to work on a video. And
and I mean, I would say, like, I would definitely have done more, but I, at a late point last year, got fucked when my computer decided to take a shit. After Max's wedding, my computer took a dump. And I actually, oddly enough, I figured a way how to load the footage onto my phone, so I'm going to actually edit it on my phone. I'm still going to make it. I might post it to the YouTube channel. But it sucked where I felt like I was also being a hindrance, because right now I'm talking to you on a fucking tablet. Yeah. Because that's all I got. I don't have the mic. So. And I spent time, and I bought, this awesome fucking, what is this thing called again? The giant, the Yeti mic. I bought that. It's awesome. I want to use it, but I just haven't had the resources to be able to do it. And it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like, I even talked about doing, like, video stuff because I wanted to do, like kind of like vlogging, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know how that would turn out. But I don't know.
I've thought of the same. We've touched on that idea before. I think all of us have.
Yeah, and I think one day I tried doing it, and I was like, I just don't like what I'm doing in this. Like, I don't like the act of like talking to basically like my phone or whatever like that. Like, it just does not like it just doesn't feel natural to me, and I think I would come off as disingenuous if I were to come out with that kind of content. I'm not the person to do that.
Sure. And I feel like the reason why I made like that hot dog video in general was it was kind of like out of desperation, honestly. Because
I had told you to do it as well. I was like, next time.
Because I know.
It was pretty funny.
It was out of the fact that it was that very bad habit that I was doing. Like, why am I fucking doing this at like 2:00 in the morning? You know, and it's like it's because I have an issue. And the only way that I could feel like I could deal with the issue was by making fun of it. And so making that video to me was like some catharsis. And I feel like I'm just going to start working on that away from this and figuring out what I could do to supplement it and decompress more from the media that we consume and then focus on health maybe, which is something that it's weird for me to say. We've never give a shit about my body until like recently. I think
never too late.
Definitely. It's never too late. Well, I feel like, it's never too late, but I am 27 and I'm like, all right, I should really try and figure out how to fucking fix myself or so I can bend down and put my socks on without breaking my back or, something, stop eating so goddamn much. So I mean, what's great about all of this is that since you guys got me back into wrestling, I'm like, it's athleticism. And I'm like, I not that I want to wrestle. But the fact that I'm like, you know what, I do want to get
a wrestler.
I looked into it. It's really expensive.
I know. I'm like, can I actually get into Seth Rollins' gym and have room and board?
It's like a solid like $3,000.
What's that giant dude? I think he's on Sanity in NXT. The big, huge, hairy.
Oh yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Mario would be like that
guy. No, there's this one guy I saw like a video of. It was like some indie thing. This guy was giant, like. Crazy.
Hey,
Mario can be
No, he straight up did a moonsault of the thing. I was like, just think of like the Big Show.
Snap.
Like, just think of the Big Show doing a moonsault.
But I'll see people like Samoa Joe or Bray Wyatt or even Kevin Owens. They're not the biggest guys, but they're big, and I'm inspired by them because they're fucking moving. The
thing about them is that like they're kind of like they're pretty like chunky, but like. They can move. Like they're probably some of the more athletic people. That,
like look at the
crazy stuff. I've always been impressed by like even like Chris Farley. Like you watch old SNL skits and he's like doing cartwheels and stuff.
Pretty sure that's like cocaine. What the? I don't know. That's just like
I might. You know what? After we break everything down, guys, I'm gonna just find some cocaine.
Yeah, there you go. Just go sell all your video game consoles.
Get and live in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
Oh man. Exactly.
I think. I'll save that that'll be my closing words about this whole thing. I want to touch on, and we will close up all these things.
We should touch up on the shows.
Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Max, I think we're going to be here's where we're at with Millennial Gaming Speak right now, which we will talk about on Millennial Gaming Speak because we're going to record more shows of that. Reeling Into Years is done. We're not doing that again.
I'll talk about that in a second. I do actually want to talk about that.
As far as Millennial Gaming Speak goes, though, Max and I are going to record a couple others with that. As far as like behind the curtain logistics of everything, so we post to our website, which runs out, I think, towards the end of this month.
It's the 21st.
So we've got like another week or so, like 10 days, something close to that.
8 days.
We've got a couple more days there to post this show, and then Reeling Into Years, this, and Behind the Pixel probably go dead on podcast services. So there's that because we're not going to renew that. So those will probably be gone, I would have to imagine, because it won't be able to source the website anymore. So those will be dead. At least on iTunes and all that stuff. Yeah, they'll be dead altogether.
Anyway, so download every episode right now. Spike that shit up. We might not leave if you spike that shit up.
I know Reeling Into Years. There's only one episode of Reeling Into Years. It's not on.
Can we release our really bad episode where you say terrible human things about people?
No.
Can we release that?
No. It wasn't even that bad, I don't think.
There was a whole section about the Green Lantern. That was awesome. Okay.
Yeah. That episode's not that bad. We could probably release that if we want. Anyway, as far as Millennial Gaming Speak goes, though, we've got until like June with that one. I'm not saying we're going to keep recording till June because that will not happen. But I think Max, you and I are going to decide. You and I are going to decide how many more episodes of that show we want to do, and then we'll probably wrap up. I don't know if you just want to do one more, or 2 or 3 more.
Well,
I don't know where you're really at with it, because the thing we started talking about when we discussed closing that show up is that the entire time we've had that show, we've always been like, oh, we'll do an episode someday about this. So we're kicking around. I'm thinking of like potentially like doing those episodes now.
Logan wants to blow through Chrono Trigger now, Earthbound. He wants to do it all.
Not those. We'll never do that stuff again. But there's been a couple other.
I'll get the SNES Classic from my mom's place. You go get the SNES Classic from your dad's.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll party hardy.
But I don't know what we're gonna do with that. We'll figure that out, and we will get back to you with that
on that feed.
Yeah, so pay attention to that. But I would imagine we're not going to do more than 1-2 episodes more of that, if I had to guess. And the thing I'll say about that one specifically is that is the show I am least desiring to end, because as we said at the top, like that's the one that Max and I have done for 3 years, and I kicked around the idea of keeping it going and just having potentially different guests on if Max wanted out. Doing something where I rotated new people in every week, or maybe switched to doing it bi-weekly or even monthly, and totally changing the format so that it would be a completely different show. But after thinking about that for half a second, I realized that that's been Max and I's project from the get-go. That would not feel the same to keep doing that, I guess, without
under the same name. And
yeah, it's like the Smashing. It's like the 2018 version of the Smashing Pumpkins. It's not really the Smashing Pumpkins, but it's still called the Smashing Pumpkins. So yeah, we're going to end that, and then I still would like to maybe do a game. That's the one. If I start another podcast up, I might do that by myself down the road, but that'll be after I plan that out and get something
figure some stuff out about it.
But as far Millennial Gaming Speak as it is in name and what it's always been will be done, because I don't feel like
ripperoni pepperoni.
I don't feel like it's right for me to continue that on without Max, because that has been me and him from the start. So we'll figure that out. I don't know. You and I can text about that
we'll figure it out
or something like that. Maybe we can get a game plan going for that.
Behind the Pixel, just like everything else here, indefinite hiatus.
You can pretty much end on any episode of that show, and it's
so there's 7 episodes. I'll probably like transfer the blog posts to my personal blog just so they can live on as written format. And then as far as
trying to do that,
and as far as audio goes, they're up on YouTube. They're up on YouTube, and I might just throw all 7 in like a shared Google Drive, like a shared public Google Drive.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with this show, Behind the Pixel, and most episodes of Reeling in the Years, which we can even throw the final Reeling in the Years up, is that those will all still live on the YouTube channel. So if you are desperately wanting to listen, subscribe on YouTube, because they will all pretty much still be there.
If we get 1 million subscribers, we'll come back.
Yeah.
I would settle for 100.
Look, I will
if we got 100,000 subscribers, we will come back.
I will tase a rat if we get 1 million subscribers. So make sure you subscribe. But yeah, that's what we're. Yeah, so all that'll still be there. But yeah, Behind the Pixel, you did good with that, Max. Good job.
Yeah, Max, that was the show that I would actually like tell people to go see from our stuff
if they liked gaming stuff.
Yeah, like literally anybody. My friend, or not my friend. Well, I guess he's my friend. He's my friend's brother-in-law. He really dug your show, actually. Like and he's not like a huge gamer. He's like a Call of Duty dude. Like he just gets the Call of Duties and
COD bro.
Yeah, or he'll get Battlefield too. Like he likes that stuff. Yeah, and he was like asking like, about our stuff. I'm like, you should check out this because it's like it's actually informative. So
I'll take it.
He listened to him and he loved it. So I mean, like, good on you, dude. That was a good show. That was a good show idea for sure. And I think like one of our most, I think it's one of our most like informative and like well thought out kind of things. Well, it's all you, honestly, but I think it was one of the most well thought out things that we had on.
Next to us being together, that was the best thing.
I'll give you all the credit. Episode 4 with Danny O'Dwyer would not have happened if you guys did not suggest it. So you guys get credit for Danny O'Dwyer.
Where's Drew Scanlon? Didn't know who he was until that.
I seriously only know Danny from NoClip. I didn't know his GameSpot days.
Oh well, I didn't follow him too much of GameSpot either.
I kind of did. I knew him more from Giant Bomb. If that makes sense.
Not a clue.
But
reeling in the ears.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with that show. That became a show where we read Wikipedia once a week and reported back the findings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Chris Farley, the TV show?
Yeah.
The idea, I think, of it was really good. Like, I think on paper, that is like an awesome show. I just don't think maybe we're the right people. And this is how, and I mean, I like to think myself like pretty like knowledgeable in music, but then I've been talking to my brother a little bit more recently, and like when he talks about stuff, I'm like he would be the perfect person because he could just carry the show, because it'd be like I don't know where he gets, because he knows about every sort of medium and every sort of like genre, and like just comes up with these random ass facts. Like we were talking about Alex Chilton, who's the singer from Big Star, because I was listening to an album from Rivers Cuomo, who's the singer from Weezer.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was listening to his like that album Alone, which is just a bunch of demos. And I told him to listen to it, and he's like, "Well, if you want to listen to something that's better, that's just demo stuff, you should listen to this Alex Chilton thing." And he's like, "This album is, and it's like 11th anniversary tomorrow, and like you just tell me about facts about stuff." I'm like, "How do you know this? Like, how do you know all this stuff?" And then anytime I visit him, he would like show me a record and give me legitimately like he could write an essay about just that record itself. Like that's the kind of like person that would need to do that. And that was something that I kicked around a little bit. Like, I think Logan and I talked about it.
We talked about
where I was like,
there was a point where I was going to just tell you to do that show by yourself.
Yeah. And he would have been like, Nick would have been like my brother, Nick would have been like an amazing person to have on that. But he also gets disinterested once you get past like 1975, 79. Like, he'll get disinterested with it. And I could never talk about like how we had like the Kendrick Lamar thing, or like we'd never be able to get into like that kind of era. I mean, he has an appreciation for some of that stuff. Like he does like Pinkerton, like he likes stuff from that era.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a very like niche kind of thing, or a very like whatever.
Well, even like, and you know, between you and I, like I said, like, or like you said, we both enjoy music a lot. We both listen to music a lot. I think we both have an appreciation for a large variety of music.
Yeah.
But we were not the people to.
We might not be the people.
The concept for that show, I think, is fantastic. I think that is a great idea for a podcast. And I think if we had like 20 years covering the music industry or something like that,
it would be awesome.
It would be an amazing, super informative podcast. But as it was just two dudes who were like, yeah, we like music. And then we read Wikipedia, and we kind of engrossed ourselves in music from that era for a week or two, or even shorter amounts of time sometimes. And then we'd like report back our findings, like, oh, well, did you know that this album came out in this year?
And so it would just be a thing about like when we find out, like, the only stuff that I thought was fun that we did in that was more just the when we decided like our personal favorites and stuff, and we would gush over like the Smashing Pumpkins or from '93, or like when we were talking about, like when I talked about Rush, I always bring up a Rush album. That was just the thing. So like,
I think that was a podcast that was a mile wide but an inch deep.
Exactly.
And, like the idea is good, but we're just not the people to do that, I don't think. And the other thing with that one, and we're talking kind of here about how we've become exhausted with the process of putting these all together. That was the most labor-intensive podcast and I by a mile.
It was.
Because we had to do the editing process behind that one was the most extensive on my behalf, because I would always try to splice in music and stuff like that. So it would take me a second to compile all that. It would always take not a super long time, but a good 30 to 45 minutes longer
More than
normal. Yeah. So it would take me a little bit longer than normal. And then all the research that had to go in beforehand. And sometimes we recorded 1 or 2 episodes where like we recorded them and they're live. And I'm like, I know I didn't do enough research for this. And we still recorded them anyway. And I felt bad about that. It was always hard for me to get myself motivated to like really dig deep and like come into something with more than just a cursory like bare bones knowledge or something like that.
And I share the same like sentiment with that. Like I definitely have come in to some of those where I'm like, just looked at this today, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So and I didn't want it to be like that. I didn't want to have like just I don't know. I didn't want it to be such low hanging fruit or whatever.
Yeah, it definitely became a thing of like, you know, I am a very like musical person, but that doesn't mean that I know a lot about the history of music. So there's that. But yeah, that's just about it.
That's with that one.
I wish we had made that T-shirt. I wish I had the T-shirt for Reeling in the Years.
Oh,
I could. I do like the logo, that even though it's so basic and kind of ripping off the Wonder Years.
I wasn't gonna make that joke, but you guys ripped off the fucking Wonder Years.
I love the album cover thing that we did. I thought that was amazing. But yeah, anyway.
I'm bummed I never got to make my debut.
Yeah.
And talk about Daft Punk's Random Access Memories.
And we'll talk about it, Max. I guess it's a very good album. That'll be your album.
Can there just be an upload that goes to that feed that it's the whole thing, but it's Max talking about that, and it's just really good. And
Max, if you record that, you can upload it to the channel.
It won't even be a year. It'll just be Max's top 3 albums, and it'll be Daft Punk, Random Access Memories, the La La Land soundtrack, and the Hamilton soundtrack.
Like, both very good guess based off what you know of my music taste.
What about Hybrid Theory?
Yeah.
No, that's not my favorite Park album.
The soundtrack to Naughty Dog's Uncharted 4.
Lost Legacy, you were really close.
Oh, dang it.
No, I get top Random Access Memories.
What about the soundtrack to Star Trek?
Dark Side of the Moon.
You know that theme song?
I'd probably say I do love my album of the year last year was Melodrama, but we won't get into that. I don't know what my top
won't
3.
get into that.
It's the best album. Random Access Memories.
So Model Citizen Show was the last one to really talk about, but what did we talk about there?
This one's just kind of ending as a byproduct, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If we continued this, then Michael, Mario, and I could do this, but let's be totally honest, it would not be the same without Max. I mean,
no, I
feel like Max has been the central character in this show.
Do you know what would happen?
There's an arc in the show with him.
Literally just talk about wrestling the entire
Well, can we just change from Model Citizen Show to MCW, please?
Yeah. Model Citizens Wrestling.
The comment about me being the central character, the only reason I even think I would even agree with that is because this all started last year when I got engaged, and now I'm married, and we've been married for 4 months, and just
the wedding stuff is
there was a journey all the way from it.
Yeah,
like you're the best friend that died of cancer, and we went to go see Star Wars or whatever the fuck that movie was about. You're the main guy. Yeah, fanboys. You're the main guy that we did it for, and it was awesome. And I didn't know you before this.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you or Michael.
Yeah. And I wish, I honestly.
Go ahead, Mario. No, go ahead, Mario. Because what I'm going to say is like the ending here.
Okay, basically what I was going to say was, I got to know you guys more with this process. I especially got to know Mike, especially during the drive in Florida, and that was really something that I hold special. I thought that was awesome. Yeah. I got to know Max, who I didn't know you at all. You guys were just like, hey, you want to start this thing? And we have this other guy. And I'm like, okay, who's this other guy? And that other guy ended up being Max. And Max just welcomed me in immediately and just texted me and been friends. And I wish we text more, but we don't. Because now I'm never going to see you again.
Well,
that's not true. I was going to go to Michael's wedding.
Yeah, we still have Michael's wedding as far as like visually actually seeing each other in person. Second of all, I don't plan on leaving the Discord. And so
it's all dead. What are you talking about? It's all dead.
Oh, I mean, it can be. I'll renew my Xbox Live to play more PUBG with you guys and be really bad at it.
No, I don't.
So
Can
that
we
was
pick a different game?
I don't mind. Halo 5. I really like.
Hey, we could play.
Okay, Halo 5. SWAT. Actually, Master Chief Collection, guys, not bad.
Hey, well, this is what we got to do. We're gonna start a new show. We're all gonna buy the Duke controller for Xbox.
We'll go back to Halo 2.
And we're going to play the Master Chief Collection with the Duke.
We'll go back to Halo 2 with the Duke controller. That's how it'll work. Yeah, that was going to be kind of the last thing I wanted to say here, and I figured that would be a good way to wrap up this episode.
The last thing I just want to say is I do not hate Max. I promise you. The first maybe like 10 episodes, I shat on Max so hard. And I felt bad every single time.
There was a real conversation that we had where like, I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm really mean.
Yeah.
I remember that's what you told me.
Yeah, I felt really bad. And I felt like a huge dick. So I'm sorry.
That was
we can end it now.
Your mom thought it was funny. Max.
Yeah,
I still got that video. It's great.
Your mom did say that he was asking for it anyway.
I have that video on my phone. I gotta find it.
Put it together, splice it together.
It was pretty funny, but I always felt because I apologized to your mom. So
that was to kind of end things off. Yeah, like that's the one I think like positive thing about this is that we're all friends and buddies now. Not that. I was already friends with Max and Michael. Mario, you kind of joined this whole thing just kind of out of nowhere. So
yeah.
It has been fun getting to know you and being friends with you and laughing at old novels you wrote. And
do you guys have it? You guys should read one more passage. Did you guys read? Did you guys have it on you?
I think my Kindle's actually right next to me.
Oh no, that was a joke. It's happening.
Yeah, my Kindle's actually right here.
Oh no!
So I could, but no, we'll not end it too crazy. If this is our last one, we'll keep it tight. But yeah, that's been the one. I know that on this show specifically, we've just spent a lot of time being like, "Hey, how'd y'all like that new Justice League trailer?" It's just been like dumb pop culture stuff like that. And some episodes have been hit, some have been missed.
The cereal one's the best one.
The cereal one is the best one. How much you know that? Let's drop onto an island. Who wins? That is my favorite one.
It's my favorite one
because it's just Michael and I boiled down into our most idiotic.
If you want to see Logan and I being just complete idiots,
that's a really good one.
It's a good one. I love that.
Good one on Michael and I's behalf. While Mario and Max wonder what on earth is happening. This has been a fun thing, and like I said, I have no doubt that we will do more in the future. And we still have the YouTube channel. I might still throw things up on that. I say that, and I probably won't ever.
Yeah, I probably won't. But
and I don't know. Like we talked about the other day, Mario. Like maybe we can bring this back somehow, like in the future. I don't know what that would entail. My thing to Mario, the thing I said to Mario was if he can pitch me on an idea for how we can bring this back, I am all ears, but I need to go away and hibernate from I just need to go away from podcast for a little bit. And Michael died. He doesn't get to say goodbye.
Oh no.
But yeah, I just need a break from all of this for sure. As said many times throughout the podcast. And then I will come back with more things after that. But yeah, Max, this is kind of your end, I think. What are you gonna do now? Would you like to announce that? Would you like to announce now that Abby is pregnant and that's the real reason why you're done?
Oh shit!
Well, she's not pregnant, but we do have a puppy, which is like a baby.
Do you want to show off the puppy? Can you show off the puppy? Oh, it's a puppy.
Check Instagram.
There it is. No, don't come back here.
She could be pregnant, but just not know yet.
That's true.
I hope not.
Max,
Abby's getting ready to put the dog in the kennel.
Max, you gonna knock her up tomorrow night on Valentine's?
Nope, I'm not planning on doing that part of the activity.
Is that a part? You're not. But you are planning on doing
the conception part of it. Yeah.
Okay, so you are gonna do it. That's good. Love it.
All right.
If Destiny 2 ever gets good, we always have that to play together.
We always have that. We always have Destiny.
Seriously, guys, it upsets me so much that game is bad now. You have no idea. I would love to pour so much more time into that game. But yeah, I don't know. Anything anybody else wants to say before we just drag on too much? I don't know. I feel like we've said everything in the first episode.
I think we said everything. I just want to say again, thank you, Brian. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, my friend Tony, who was listening to us for quite a bit. Emily, Charlie Feller's friend, who apparently listens to our show. That's my girlfriend's brother's friend. He apparently watched the show and then saw me in front of my work and didn't come up to say hello, which was weird. But hey, you listen.
You're famous, Brian.
Thank you. Apparently. Just thank you for the people who did listen.
Yeah.
I think
if you ever listen to the show, yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Dick Lord forever.
Dick Lord forever. Hashtag Dick Lord forever is we're about to sign off.
Hashtag
Mario's
hashtag.
Grant's happy in the back here.
Yeah. Forever.
Thanks to this podcast for getting me a potential date with Bethany.
Dude, that was pretty sick. That was cool.
There you go. Yes.
I've been texting her lately. She wants me to come down to Florida and see her real bad.
Yeah, she does.
Dude, when we go to Boston, right? If we go to Boston, I mean, you might have to sacrifice WrestleMania though.
That is not happening.
Or you go on Monday and Tuesday.
How would I do that? Boston is further away from Florida than where I'm at right now.
But you're traveling though. You're already in mid-flight. Just change course.
Tell you what, Max,
the last time
bring Bethany up. I want Bethany to be
didn't end well.
I want Bethany to be my +1 to Michael's wedding.
Yeah, Logan, you get a +1.
So hear that, Bethany? Don't get in a relationship or something until that time. Anyway.
You're asking her to...
Oh, and sorry to the significant others that we offended.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Whatever.
More on my part.
It was all
right.
Jokes.
Sorry, Emily.
My final piece. Interior coffee shop. Late morning. It's the following day.
I was hoping this would be Mario's book instead of the script. The script is not
his phone while waiting for his turn to order. The person in front of him finishes ordering and steps away from the counter.
And Max is muted. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us.
You wouldn't let me finish the sentence and then poetically talk about how it applies to the show and blah, blah, blah. The script is bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes this podcast was bad, but there were good episodes.
I think there's about 85% of the time the podcast is bad, and then the script, 85% of it is good, but there's some hits. There's some hits.
There's some zingers in here.
That hit.
Yeah, like the Pixar one or the cereal mascots. A lot of good stuff.
Or Mario's book.
Mario's book. And Mario's book just was the last 20 minutes of that episode.
And I'm so fucking mad it's the last episode before this one.
Hey, did you get money for that, Mario? Did that come through?
I honestly don't know how it works with that. I set that up so long ago. I honestly don't think I will. But hey, thank you so much for buying my book.
I'll give you.
I heard it.
Time I see you.
I think Alex O'Neill may have bought it. Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you so much. Oh man.
That's a good one. Go listen to that. But yeah,
my dad read it. My fucking dad read it. I bought him a tablet for Christmas, and it was on the fucking tablet. And he read it. It was. I bought him because it was a Kindle tablet. And he fucking read it.
I'm sorry.
So he read about all your angsty problems you had back when.
Oh, when he should have been there? Yeah, it's fine.
And we will end on Father Shade with this podcast. very fun to do this show with you gents. This is weird. I've never had to do an outro for a podcast that is ending.
You do it the same way. You just don't plug the show.
Yeah, I guess I was going to say, I guess I don't have to say you can find the show on podcast services. You can find everybody on Twitter, I guess, if you want to keep up with us there. You can find Max. He's at Max the White. You can find Michael. He's at Super Ruse, or super underscore Ruse. God. There you go. That's how long it's been since we've done this. You can find Mario. He is at that Mario Rivera. I don't know. It's been like over a month. Yeah, it's been like first of the year was like last time we did this, I think. Close to there at least. And you can find me at Moreman12. So be sure to keep up with us on all those places on Twitter if you want to see whatever kind of crap we might be doing. But yeah, it's been fun. I have enjoyed this program. It's probably been my favorite one to do, honestly, just because of how chill it has been. And I know, like we said, that has kind of led to some bad episodes at time because it's a little bit too lax and there's not enough going on. But this has been fun. I've enjoyed doing this with all of you. And as I said, I have no doubt we will do something akin to this again in the future. So it's not goodbye forever. It's farewell for now. And
at least publicly, it's
public.
Yeah. Like before, we'll still talk.
Yeah, public. So it's not. Yeah,
it's behind.
We'll still talk.
Pixel. Huh? It's behind the pixel because
we're gonna end it on a Bad Max pun or so whatever that was.
Max, anyway. It's beneath the pixel. Get it right. You don't even know the name of your show.
And on that note, thank you so much for listening. If you ever tuned in, we appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful time with whatever your life might entail. Until next time, we've been the Model Citizens. Take it easy, everybody.